I'm Grace Lesperance, Cascade Township Supervisor. Clerk Slater, please call the roll.
Trustee Rissy.
Here.
Trustee Nordhook.
Here.
Supervisor Lesperance.
Here.
Treasurer Cornstalk is absent and excused. Trustee Nordike.
Here.
Trustee Shipley.
Present.
And Clerk Slater present.
Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge of Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Before we approve tonight's agenda, Article 3, we'd like to add, or I'd like to add a section 11.5, and to get a closed session pursuant to MCL 15.267, Section 1. And it's the same reason as the last meeting, to consider the potential purchase of real property. That would be following the second session of public comments. So with that proposed change, is there a discussion or a motion?
Sure, motion that we approve the agenda as amended.
Shipley supports.
It's a motion by trustee Nordike, supported by trustee Shipley, to approve the agenda with the addition of the closed session pursuant to MCL 15.2671, following the second portion of public comments. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Next, Article 5, public comments. So we welcome anything to comment on tonight's agenda. It's pretty short. But good evening.
Hi, Nick Katsourelis, 2985 Berwick. Because you just added it to the agenda, I'm wondering if you can have that closed session after the board and manager have comments, because otherwise, if it's just after the hearing, the second public hearing, then kind of have to wait around for your session to adjourn. Is that possible?
So we just made the,
You just approved it for tonight. Could do it moving forward.
yeah, sorry, that is a fair point. And we'll do, since we just did the, approve the motion for tonight, we'll keep it as is. However, yes, point made. Good.
Great.
Good
Okay.
idea.
Thank you.
Any other comments? Anyone virtually? Okay, Article 6, approval of tonight's consent agenda.
I make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented. Support.
So motion by trustee Shipley, supported by trustee Nordhook, to approve the consent agenda. All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Ms. Rissy.
It was actually Rissy.
Oh, I'm sorry.
But that was the intent. I think he's all right.
Trustee Rizzi supports that.
Could be the other way around.
Yeah, well, I was thinking that too.
Article 7, financial actions, specifically the invoices that are set to be paid 7/24 tomorrow, and also the June 2025 financial statements. Is there discussion or a motion?
I make a motion to approve the request for the invoices to be paid on 7/24. Support.
A motion by trustee Shipley, supported by trustee Nordhook, to approve tonight's financial actions. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Having no unfinished business, first item 044-2025. Consider approval of purchase policy. Manager Smith?
Thank you, Supervisor. So when I got here about a little over a year and a half ago, realized that there was no purchasing policy that actually existed. There was a purchase order policy, which gave some direction as to when a purchase order should or should not exist. So bringing on Finance and Budget Director Natcherini, we worked on putting together the policy that's before you tonight. It was presented to the Personnel Finance Committee back in May for review. So with that, asking for approval.
Thank you, Supervisor Lesperance. overall, I like the policy. I would, and I've spoken to Manager Smith about this, recommend that we slightly modify two items. The expected purchase cost. I recommend changing the last bucket from 25,000 and greater to 15,001 and greater. And then removing what is currently 10,000 to 25,000 and changing the bucket above it from 5,000 to 15,000. I think this would give us, put some more controls in place and, yeah, it'd be good controls for the township. The other thing that I would recommend changing is, it says today, there's a minimum number of quotes is not required. I talked to the manager. I think we could change that to either 3 with an explanation if 3 can't be received, but some kind of documentation if we can't get to, especially at 15,000 and higher. So those would be my 2 recommended changes.
Additional thoughts, discussion?
I think just to clarify what we spoke about, I would probably just remove the minimum number of quotes is not required sentence, because a quote and a bid are different. Quote is something you just pick up the phone, you call or email and you get a quote. A bid is actually a sealed bid process where we go out to the streets. So we can add stronger language to the sealed bids are required and what is the process of how we obtain those, the number, and if we didn't, we can detail that out more and then just remove that bullet point.
I'd be fine
That
with
says-
that. I just, as long as we strive for 3 bids, and again, there's gonna be situations where it's a really specific request that there may be only one vendor. I just want to document it that.
Sure.
I would only get one vendor.
Makes sense.
Talking about the 25,000 and up section,
Mhm.
taking out that minimum number, or you're saying 3?
Take out that bullet, strike that, and then add more language to quantify the number of bids above. To require 3, and if there aren't 3, document.
Thank you.
Mhm.
I think that's a reasonable number to target, and then if there's a abnormally high number of requests coming in front of the board for things, then maybe we say, okay, maybe we need to amend this and.
Yeah,
and,
I
you know,
did get
we
a
can
chance-
change the numbers easier than we can the whole policy.
Yeah, I did get a chance to talk to the fire chief who was at the library grand opening and told him about this and the 10,000 number, there's sometimes you do get a repair on a fire truck, that's gonna be an interesting number to track and see where that ends up. So I think all in time, we'll see how it works. And then we can always, like you said, amend it.
Jade, with respect to that, it's a good example. However, in here though, in the exclusion section, it talks about if it's a emergency or if
Mhm.
it's something that could potentially cause the township harm and being able to respond to emergency services, you can, or the
Mhm.
purchaser, I think, can make it happen without this policy in place.
Right, and
If it's an emergency situation, there's an exemption for that type of thing.
Yes, the part that we'll still track it because the part that is in the emergency part, which becomes even a little bit more cumbersome than just bringing it for approval, is that there's a full report of the emergency purchase that has to be supplied at the next board meeting. Anyway, so regardless, we're still bringing back the explanation. So, but we will track all that and,
But the process change wouldn't hold up
Correct,
fixing a
no.
fire truck if it
Correct.
was,
Oh,
if it
absolutely.
had to be done.
absolutely, yes.
And I'm advocating 15,000, not 10,000.
Oh, I'm sorry, did I
You
say
said 10. and
Okay,
we,
sorry,
when I talked to
yes.
Manager Smith, I started at 10 and we arrived at 15.
Are you talking about the second section?
So, so the.
I have it right here.
Okay,
Yeah.
I can get it to you tomorrow.
I just didn't hear you very well.
Does this make sense to you, Mr. Smith?
Yes.
How about for our financial director, does that make sense?
I'm here to perform the will of the board as directed by the manager, so it is A-okay.
And I
You're a
did,
great employee.
and I did discuss this with her prior to the meeting too, so.
Did she raise her voice 3 or 4 octaves?
What happens at the office, stay at the office. Just kidding.
Good job getting
She
that
was fine.
going.
Would member Nordike like to make a motion then?
Please
For
do.
his-
Yeah, I can absolutely make a motion in the matter of 044-2025. Recommend that, or make a motion to approve the purchasing policy with the amendments that I mentioned, which would be to lower the limit for board approval from 25,000 to 15,000 and raising the second expected purchase cost bracket from 5,000 to 10,000 to 5,000 to 15,000. And then I would also recommend, and also amend that we would seek to get 3 bid responses and RFPs for 15,000 and over, and when not available, a detailed explanation as to why we couldn't get 3.
And I'll support the motion.
And before we vote, I just want to draw your attention to section M, the conflicts of interest. Good job, and good job formalizing that. That was a big problem in the previous years for the township, so good job including that. With that said, there's a motion by trustee Nordike, as stated, supported by trustee Shipley, to approve the purchase policies with the stated amendments. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Next, item 045-2025. Consider approval of resolution of introduction to amend the zoning ordinance to rezone 5178 Burton Street from R1 residential to High Ridge Planned Unit Development, also known as PUD 27. Manager Smith, Director Hendrick, who wants to start?
I'm gonna hand this right over to the planning director.
Okay.
Thank you Supervisor Lesperance. I want to clarify quickly the location of this parcel because I think that the image that was provided in the staff report for the Planning Commission was really zoomed in. So if you toggle, I do have the parcel map available. You should be able to toggle on your computers to see where this property is located. This is a small 1/3 acre parcel located south of the High Ridge apartment condominium development. It is east of I-96, south of Burton, and completely landlocked by the consumer's easement, consumer's power easement to the east, and a parking lot. So I know I'm very vocal about removing properties from PUDs and trying to peel back some of the PUDs that we have, but I think this proposal before you is one, just procedural, and 2, beneficial to the township in that it's a landlocked parcel that is really only usable by the High Ridge condominiums. And because of condominium laws, it's really difficult to expand the boundaries of a condominium, but by adding this parcel to the existing PUD, which has a cap in units, it will provide that this parcel will, 1, be managed by the High Ridge condominium, and 2, we won't have to worry about this getting sold independently somewhere else, and it won't ever, we won't have any weird situation where we would have to worry about someone building on this property. So like I said, it's procedural, it's beneficial to the township. And the applicant is here. There is some history with this property that if the board would like to hear from the applicant to explain kind of how this got missed and why it ended up, this orphan parcel in the middle of, MDOT right of way and easements and all that, the applicant is prepared to speak more to that. But I do recommend approval. It's very procedural and will get the situation kind of cleaned up in a positive way.
Welcome, if you wouldn't mind, can you give us some of the background from your perspective?
Thank you, Jonathan Durrell. I do represent the High Ridge Condominium Owners Association. And this actually came to our attention last year. We had this particular parcel had been owned by an individual who was deceased for a number of years, went to a tax foreclosure sale and was purchased, I think, sight unseen without much knowledge of the parcel, but for a few $100s by the foreclosure buyer. He, I think, was in touch with staff about permitting for potential development here. We got involved, and instead of looking at our potential for quiet title action and going through a court process, we negotiated a purchase price with that buyer so that we could maintain control of it. I believe it's in the packet that the well is on this parcel. It's not in fact the well. The well is within the condominium common elements, but the mechanicals, the electrical and the pump are in a small shed on this parcel. So it made a lot of sense for the condominium, obviously, to buy this instead of moving those mechanicals at a higher price or trying to take it through some other court action from having obtained it. The parcel was overlooked in the initial development. I'm not quite sure how. It goes back nearly 40 years. And so it was just an oversight, I believe, by the developer who is either so far in age that you wouldn't have much recollection of how. But in any event, we hope that we can remedy this, maintain parcel for this sole use going forward with your approval.
Any questions of the applicant while we have them here? Further discussion or motions?
I make the motion that we approve the resolution of amending the zoning ordinance to rezone 5178 Burton Street from R1 to planned unit development. It's for the benefit of not only the condominiums there, but also the township and maintaining that parcel.
Support.
It's a motion by trustee Shipley, supported by both trustee Nordike and Nordhook. Give it to Nordike this time. As stated, Clerk Slater, please call the roll.
Trustee Nordike,
Yes.
trustee Nordhook,
Yes.
trustee Rissy,
Yes.
trustee Shipley.
Yes.
Clerk Slater, yes. Supervisor Lesperance.
Yes, motion carried. Thank you. And
Thank
for
you very
coming.
much.
Both of the next items have to deal with the upcoming Heritage Festival in September. So first, item 046-2025, consider approval of a resolution for Heritage Festival liquor license. Manager Smith?
Thank you, Supervisor. I'll speak to both of the items separately or together. We have to be voted on separately because they each are a resolution. But Heritage Festival, we are looking at holding on Saturday, September 20th on Orange Street. And as part of that event, we are applying for a one-day liquor license for that event. And then also working with the Kent County Sheriff's Office in regards to a road closure. So before you is a resolution to pass as a board to show support to the state for the liquor license, and then also a resolution and support that we can send to the Sheriff's Office.
I have a question.
Yes.
You mentioned in here that. Oh, sorry, it's the next one with the road closure. Can I ask that question?
Yeah, we can talk about it. So we'll vote on liquor license first.
Okay,
But
sorry.
Go ahead and talk about both.
My bad.
No, go ahead, Sue. We can talk about the road closure.
Oh, just that it says it's like it's in conjunction with Cascade Christian Church. I know it was last year. They're not technically a sponsor, but it's completely our event, but they're just being gracious and opening their facility. Is that how it works?
Yeah, we do use a part of their facility. Last year, we hooked up and used the electrical supply from the daycare building. And then also just the location of Orange Avenue. We work in collaboration with them because it just that through traffic abuts our property and their property.
It worked out well.
Mhm.
Yeah, good partner.
Thank you.
Question. Mr. Smith, has any concerns or objections come before the township office, the way that it was handled last year, or concerns about this year?
None that we received. We worked with the local property owners and businesses that are adjacent to our property. Because the road got closed all the way to Cascade Road, and we did not hear any.
Okay, so no objections from the local.
No. I think internally the event group that put it on, we're gonna make a few minor adjustments because it was the first time holding it on that property.
Mhm. And the liquor license, who's responsible for maintaining the vigilance on the consumption and serving of liquor as far as minors versus
Yep.
elders like us versus, oh, I had one too many?
Yep, we are. Yep. There's protocol to be followed and there's also identification taken when they buy their tickets.
Okay, thank you.
We haven't had a situation so far, we're prepared, but so far, no problems with that, right?
No. I mean, that last year was my first one. I can't
Oh.
speak to the previous 3 years.
Haven't yet. Is there a motion or further discussion on item 046-2025, specifically approval of the liquor license?
Make a motion to approve the resolution for the Heritage Festival liquor license number 046-2025.
Second,
It's a motion by trustee Nordike, supported by clerk Slater, to approve the resolution as stated for the Heritage Festival liquor license. Clerk Slater, please call the roll.
trustee Shipley,
Yes.
trustee Ritzy,
Yes.
trustee Nordhook,
Yes.
trustee Nordike,
Yes.
clerk Slater, yes, supervisor Lesbrunz.
Yes, motion carried. And the next item, 047-2025, that would be the resolution to approve the Heritage Festival road closure.
Matter 047-2025, I would make a motion to approve the resolution for the Heritage Festival road closure.
Shipley supports.
It's a motion by trustee Nordike, supported by trustee Shipley, to approve the resolution for the Heritage Festival road closure. Clerk Slater, please call the roll.
Trustee Ritzy,
Yes.
trustee Shipley,
Yes.
trustee Nordhook,
Yes.
trustee Nordike,
Yes.
clerk Slater, yes, supervisor Lesbrunz.
Yes, motion carried. Having no discussion items, now is the time for public comments. Whether the comment has to do with something on tonight's agenda or just in general, we welcome those. And that's a good point. In the future, we can do the closed session at the very end following the board and answer comments.
No one else is interested. Just wanted to, and you probably know this. Adjacent to the bridge is this huge dead tree. And I'm just wondering if there's any plans to remove that tree. And also, inside Tuffy's site, there's a barrel of fluorescent lights. I counted, there's like 25 of them of different sizes. And I'm just wondering who's responsible for cleaning up probably what was Tuffy's property. So.
Jay, do you have, since
Yeah.
we're going into closed session?
Yeah, I can respond.
Okay.
So the tree has become very evident now that the fence is up and it's very nice and the lights are up. I noticed it myself the other day. So I talked to our Parks and Facilities Director. And we're gonna look at getting that taken down because it is a pretty big eyesore, and actually it has to be a safety concern as well, because it's leaning pretty far. In regards to the light bulbs, that's news to me that I'll have to look into.
I've had 3 people ask me about that tree in the last 10 days.
Now it just sticks out like a worse sore thumb than it did. So.
Because you can't stare at Tuffy anymore, so now
You
now you notice the tree.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. If it's township property, ultimately it's on the township to take care of it, but.
Hello, it's the first time I've done this before. Do I need to state my name and address?
Yes, please, for
Uh,
record.
Ben Rambat at 6461 Cascade Road. Just had a question about, I know there's development happening and ideas happening at Leslie Tassel Park. I know I've filled out the master plan survey. And just one thing I have a question on is, I'm kind of a big proponent of splash pads, and I know I filled out a big thing in the survey on splash pads. I just want to find out, and I know on the survey results that splash pad is kind of ranked high, I think in the top 6 or 5 of priorities or things that the township individuals who filled out the survey responded to. And I just want to find out, are splash pads still something the township is considering or interested in, or are there issues with that?
For tassels specifically, I
Uh,
think the plan was rec park was the survey.
Yeah.
Out, by the airport, the park by the highway.
oh, the Cascade Township Park. Okay, which is now Rec Park. Okay.
Yeah, sorry, that one is not gonna get a splash pad, at least not while we're here right now. It's
Okay.
too we don't have low priority, too expensive. The park needs a lot of other stuff before we would even consider a splash pad.
Okay.
It's not off the table for Tuffy, but no decisions have been made yet. But as we look to save money, there is there's an existing one there, right? But
Correct,
sometimes it
yeah.
doesn't always, it might need some maintenance.
Yep.
So no decisions have been made, but tentatively, if anything, that one would stay, not tear that down and build a new one.
Okay. Utilize the existing infrastructure on that one. Okay.
But yeah, we have been in talks with Eagle too, because we did have an inspection, and the drainage on that splash pad is actually not up to Eagle standards. They gave
Yep.
us a pass for this year,
Which means it never will be.
so we'll have to look into it.
Splash pads are tricky because they're very expensive and you get some big splash pad fans, but then you get a lot of people who are like, I mean, we don't use them, but you know what I mean? Like, that's a tricky one because when you're talking about bang for your buck and focusing on the river, maybe there's a better, Ada's getting a splash pad right by their covered bridge.
Yes,
There
yeah.
you go.
That's
Yeah.
what, honestly, if Ada's getting a splash pad at their covered bridge and we have to lose ours, I don't think it makes sense for Cascade to personally notice to invest that kind of money into a splash pad when there's one so close.
Okay.
But reasonable minds can disagree.
I disagree, but yes, I understand the proximity.
And that's nothing official. You're just getting one opinion out of 7.
What's not official?
The supervisor's
It's
opinion.
just her opinion.
Oh, okay.
Exactly
Yeah,
my opinion
understood.
too. I agree with her.
But I mean, if Ada's right there,
Yeah,
Okay.
there's just a lot of maintenance and a really high cost where
doesn't justify it.
when Ada's got one, I don't know.
Understood.
But
Okay.
thank you. And it's good to hear feedback on it.
Yep. All right. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you. That's funny. That's not one that's usually a hot topic at meetings.
First time for everything.
Hi, Ken Vandercock, 7200 Layton. The last 3 Tuesdays at 10, we've been over there at the park pulling weeds and cutting brush and everything else there. And there's a lot of kids using that splash pad at 10 o'clock in the morning at Tassel Park. There's a lot of kids using that park, fishing and using on that splash pad. There was probably 10 or 12 last week, and a week before there was probably 5 or 6. But every time I've been there at that time, there's been kids playing in there and they've been enjoying it. So I think it's worthwhile having somebody watching and see how many people show, if that's a part of the thing. And I was having breakfast across the street there the other day, and I saw 5 or 6 people walking around the property there. Are they going to do another survey on the thing or get another drawing on it? Or how many are we going to pay for? Or when are we going to vote on the thing and have it done?
Yeah.
I can't speak to.
We haven't had a
walking-
final.
If people were walking the site the other day, I'm not sure who that was. The final design,
Staff?
I don't believe so.
It looked like there was 5 guys, and it looked like they were getting
bet.
ready to do some drawing or something.
I bet it was one of the companies or teams who are doing proposals for who are submitting proposals for who want to be selected for the final plan.
That's what I mean. How many plans are we gonna have submitted? Are we paying for all these plans?
Well, we paid for the initial concept with DDA funds, the Downtown Development Authority. That's been out since last October, but that didn't finalize. That was more for a bigger picture. It didn't finalize the actual Tuffy corner or how it is integrated into Tassel. So for the actual details, brick, stone, splash pad, whatever, that's step 2, and we are in the another firm's been selected rather than going with the previous one. It's basically building on what we've got, but it's for the specific plan. We don't have it yet, but we're pushing them to get it as soon as possible.
I mean, they had the big glass building on the corner.
We pulled that
Okay,
because people like you would give us a lot of heat because we already have the old Township Hall and we have the stone house. So the last thing we're gonna do is put a big glass building on that corner, which is already noisy and lacks parking. So we appreciate their idea. In some ways it'd be great, but we pulled it.
every kid in the neighborhood would carve their initials on that glass. All right, thank you.
Thank you. Anyone virtually? Yes, Scott.
Hello. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi there, Scott Van Salkema. Regarding the purchase of the real estate property, I went down to the other township hall there right in the village, and obviously I guess the cat's out of the bag of what's going to be purchased. My question is just if we have a plan and the money for it, and as well as the maintenance. Obviously, the township has a critical lack of maintenance. Obviously, the splash pad that is there is no longer meeting standards. And it sounds like maybe we don't even want to put money into at least keeping what we do have or upfitting or retrofitting the current infrastructure that's already down at Hassel Park. Also, again, obviously, I've spoken up numerous times about other land that has been purchased further down Thornapple River, and and other properties that have come up for sale in that area in between that time and then possibly the purchase of this new parcel of land. So I really wish that the township would have a cohesive plan as to what they want to do along the riverfront before we just keep accumulating and more land and property. Again, getting property off tax rolls and becoming just government property. Now, granted, this is a nice piece. I think it would be good for it to be done, but I just hope that there's a cohesive plan to do it. Those are just my 2 cents again. Also, I did bring up that tree on the river about several months ago that was just brought up again by Mr. Cassavetes. So I am glad that hopefully it will get taken care of, obviously sooner than later, before it does fall in the river and it gets a lot more difficult. So thank you.
Scott, I'll answer your questions and then anyone else can fill in too. Yes, we have a plan, and yes, we have the funds to do it. The funds would be coming from the Downtown Development Authority, who funded the bus for a long time. That took a while, but we've ended that service because of a lack of ridership. The DDA, we're fortunate enough that does have the funding to do these kind of projects, and they haven't been done yet. This corner, the Tuffy site, would be the center point of any type of village, walkable. The plan is to make the river, make the focus the river, keep it quaint, keep it kind of the character of Cascade. We don't have the exact final corner plan yet. The property you're talking about, which is what we were going to go in closed session, is the township has a tentatively purchased agreement for Verberg's. Verberg's has been on our radar for a long time. The plan tentatively would be to keep it simple landscaping, simple, basic, but the key is to have a connection for walkers and bikers underneath the bridge. So again, in the early stages, but that would be the plan. I've talked to you before about those properties along the Thornapple River. The township bought them several years ago before I was supervisor. But that's not a high priority, and it's a hot topic. Many people are for it. Many people are against it. They can sit there passively with a nice split rail fence, because to open that can of worms, in my opinion, would be foolish right now to have people fighting over that when the priority and the energy needs to be focused on Tuffy, and the higher priority is projects that we've already got going on. So to distract from that with something that's contentious and there's no rush, I think is foolish, and we just lose valuable time accomplishing more important, more critical things. So it's not that there's an opinion either way, it's that it would be stupid, in my opinion, take that on right now. So as passionate as you are to sell them, and then most likely a McMansion would pop up, and who knows if it'd even be acceptable because of the elevation, there's just as many people that want it to stay green. So I'm not touching it. It's not a high priority. It'll be there in several years and we can have it out then. And there's not a lot of other property, and this is the only other property that the township has been looking at, Verberg's. We've been in contact with them for a long time. It's nothing new. We had already discussed it with Verberg's that we were open to it. We kept that door open, and unfortunately they had an unexpected death. Their circumstances changed where they wanted to sell it and the township already wanted to buy it. So nothing else. We're not looking to gobble up properties. It was only Verberg's, and it's been on the list as a critical piece for a long time. Again, there's no high-rise apartments or anything major. The whole point is to retain character and keep it quaint for the residents that live here. You've got a beautiful river, highlight it. And part of that, you've got two auto parts stores that are right on riverfront property. I think most people would agree that it's better to have it more natural. And that's what we're going for. Anyone else want to add? Disagree?
Yeah, I'm not gonna touch that part of it. I just wanted to clarify something I said earlier. The splash pad, the Eagle standards that are in place, it's not because of a lack of maintenance on the township's part. It's actually a lack of the way it was designed and how the water runs off into the river. It's not proper. It's not up to their standards. It doesn't have to do, it doesn't have to do to the maintenance or lack thereof from the township.
And Eagle changes its regulations.
Correct.
And they've had a lot of changes in the last few years. Oh, the other thing too, I think we did have a critical lack of maintenance. I very much disagree that we do now. Our new Parks and Facilities Director, who's been here since September, has been killing it. I don't know if you've seen the ball fields out at Rec Park, but, and we've expanded, they're doing great. So I know we did have some catch up to do, but I think they're doing fantastic. I don't think there is a problem with that now. Any other public comments? Okay, with that.
Shipley makes a motion to go into closed session.
Support.
Yes.
Clerk Slater, please call the roll.
Trustee Nordike,
Yes.
trustee Nordhook,
Yes.
trustee Shipley,
Yes.
trustee Rissy,
Yes.
clerk Slater, yes, supervisor Lesperance.
Yes, we are now in closed session.
I make a motion to return to open session.
Shipley sports.
It's a motion by Clerk Slater, supported by trustee Shipley to return to open session. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We are now back in open session. Article 12, manager comments.
Thank you, Supervisor. So a couple of things. Thornapple River Drive, the water main on Thornapple River Drive is getting installed starting next week. We just got notification from the road commission today. So there'll be some traffic adjustments on Thornapple River Drive for the installation of that 6-inch main that'll be going on
Where will that be, Jade?
between Cascade and Thornhouse.
Got it. Thank you.
Yep.
Yep.
So it'll definitely slow down some traffic next week, so shouldn't get any complaints on that. And then a reminder that this will be our last public meeting here until the first meeting in September. We'll be at Fire Station 1 as the Wisner Center is going through the upgrades. New carpeting, you can see the new chairs came in already. New partitions, and then we're working diligently trying to find better technology for this building, or for this room. There may be a timing issue on that. We didn't get good responses from bidders, so in the ones that we did not want to go with. So we're working with actually Carbon 6, who did the construction and has worked with some very reputable companies in their dealings. So working with them to get connected with another vendor.
Do we have it pretty visible on our website, noticing the meetings out that the location will be at the fire station?
We will. We've been holding off until this meeting because I didn't want people to go there and think like, oh, well, I just saw that it was at the library. So yep, it's been in the works. Yep. And then we had the library grand opening today. It was very well attended. It was hot. And but I think all the patrons are really happy with the new library. So,
90 degrees.
yes, it was warm.
Board member comments, trustee Shipley?
Thank you for recognizing me before my hand was up. Although we don't have any attendees right here in the audience, I'd just like to make comment that the board isn't always uniform in our decision making, but what is always uniform from the board is the best wishes and the best ideas for the residents. We maintain Cascade Township for the residents. They're our boss. And that's all I have to say. So if anybody's out in La La Land, thank you for listening.
Trustee Nordike?
Yeah, I just, he's not here, unfortunately. So I'll leave it to you, Jay, to call out Eric. He's done a fantastic job, working through some of these, upset residents around, the contractors, the PFAS and the grass. They're not installing it at a rate that they should. Trustee Rissy was kind enough to drive some of it and is giving some recommendations, to Eric and Jay to push on to the contractors. But, Eric has been incredibly responsive to these residents as they reach out to him, shows a lot of empathy, and I think he really represents us well. And, you know, I think makes the residents feel like they're being heard, and, you know, we're driving a resolution. And, you know, I think I will also say that I like that he shows them that we have some teeth, like in this situation, we can withhold about $170, you know, if it doesn't get done right. So I think that really calms the residents. So if you could pass that on, I'd appreciate it.
Will do.
I have no comments this evening.
No
comments.
Clerk Slater?
None.
I've already said mine too much probably. So is there a motion to adjourn?
Make a motion to adjourn.
Support?
All in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned.